Hello and welcome to my desk. Imagine the Disney Channel style logo floating across your screen. You're watching Rissy. But I am not here today just to talk about Disney Channel logos. That is for another day. No, I'm here to talk about ghostwriting versus regular writing. It's a question I get very often. What's the difference? What does the process look like? Let's clear it up. In the traditional writing process, right, your brain hatches an idea and you start by writing your notes, quill penning your notes, or if you're living in the 21st century, typing up your notes, right? Maybe you outline it, maybe then you start drafting it, okay? You're writing everything. You're doing the entire process yourself from start to finish until you get to the editing process, in which case you hire an editor to dot your T's and cross your I's, strike that, reverse it. Thank you, Willy Wonka, for the hilarious joke. So you have your editor. They go through everything that you wrote. They make it as good as it can be. You send it to a publisher or you self-publish it. Boom, your work is out there. You have written most of it and just had somebody help you, right? In the ghostwriting process, the process starts out similarly, right? You come up with an idea. You start writing your notes about that idea. Maybe you have an outline. And then you decide, you know what? I have the idea. I know exactly what I want this to say. I just don't know how to say. I'm not a professional writer, or I don't have time to sit and write every single word, even though the idea is mine. So then you call up somebody like Dr. Rissy and you say, hey, Dr. Rissy, I have a brilliant idea for a book. Can you help me turn this thing into a 200-page book? Right now it's a 10-page outline, or right now it's all in my head and I need help extracting it, right? This is what happens every day. So we say, heck yeah, we can do that. Let's go. So typically what we do, we schedule a consultation, we schedule an interview. We talk with that client and we get out all their details. Let's say they're writing a book about running. So we ask them all the questions. What time do you run? How do you run? When did you start running? Tell us everything. And that's after reading their outline. So we come up with questions based on that outline, right? Any good ghostwriter does that. Then we actually write the book and we turn that brief outline or those few 2-hour interviews into a nice book. And that's the difference. And then typically they don't even need to hire an editor because the ghostwriter is already in the industry. They know what we're looking for. And then you publish it. So really, ghostwriting obviously is a little bit more expensive because you're not just editing, you're writing a whole thing. There's a lot more hours involved, but the writer does save a lot of time, and it's still their original thoughts on the paper. It's still their idea, and since it's ghostwriting, they get full credit for everything. The ghostwriter typically doesn't get credit. Sometimes we're acknowledged, but typically we're ghosts. You don't see us. So that person whose idea it was, they are the writer, and it's still, accolades wise is the same thing as if they actually wrote it. So those are the main differences. They're both perfectly acceptable ways to go about getting a book out there into the world. They're both taking your original ideas and getting them out there. So I hope that clears up any writer versus ghostwriter questions. If you have any other questions, keep them coming, especially questions about plastic quill pens. I could talk about plastic quill pens all day, every day.